You are listening to NewVision, OldWays, the podcast that explores timeless wisdom for the modern mind in a fun, relaxed, and most important, interactive way with you, the listener. I am your host, Tony Marinaccio, and let's get the episode started. Welcome, everyone, to a special episode of NewVision, OldWays, and as usual, I am your host, Tony Marinaccio, and I want to start by saying thank you to all that listened to and commented on the two-part leadership series, episodes 18 and 19. I received a lot of great feedback about the series, and I truly appreciate that. I had a different episode subject matter that was supposed to be episode 20, but seeing that the leadership episodes and the election time fell so close together, I felt it was the appropriate time to touch on the election coming up and the power that we all hold in our hands, and that is, of course, our individual votes and our voice. So in this episode, I want to talk about the importance of voting with your heart, not the media pressure that surrounds us, not the peer pressure that guilts us, and not the family pressure that can, at times, make us feel like a black sheep in our own family. But there are ways we can defend against this, and that is what I will be discussing today. So without further ado, let's get episode 20 started. Election time. Voting with your heart, not theirs.
But just as important as how we vote is that we vote. Every vote cast on Election Day means that we, the people, have taken a hand in shaping our nation's future. Every time we vote, we're grabbing a hold of a lifeline that's 3,000 miles long and more than 2 centuries old, and with millions of others helping to pull America forward into the future. Yes, every time we vote, we're standing up side by side with the Founding Fathers, with the men of Valley Forge, with patriots and pioneers throughout our history, with all those who dedicated their lives to making this a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. Every time we vote, we help to make America stronger. I'm sure you've heard friends say, "Oh, my vote won't matter." But the next time someone says that to you, I hope you'll remember that time and again over the years, elections have turned on a handful of ballots.
That was President Ronald Reagan from 1986, and he set the stage for us by emphasizing why it is so important to vote. At the time of this podcast being released, it is within days of a major election. The focus is mainly on the presidential election, but also keep in mind when you get to the voting booth, there will be several other items that you will be voting for. Why am I talking about all this? Well, while it is none of anyone's business who or what you vote for, I have felt a strong sense from many people that the craziness of the media and the pressure from friends and family have, in many cases, put blinders on people, and they feel obligated to vote for candidates or items on the ballot that they may not want to vote for in their heart, but they feel pressured to do so because of the guilt that these forces have placed on them. Many people that I have spoken to really feel one way, but the outside forces pressure them to act the opposite to their own beliefs and values, a form of brainwashing that causes one to feel stress, anxiety, and depression when it doesn't have to be that way. All American citizens of age have the right to vote. That is a right that many people have died defending. It's a right that many people around the world wish they had, but we have it, and it's a right that I value for all of us. Even if I disagree with your point of view, you need to vote the way you feel you should. Voting from the heart is a concept that might sound idealistic, but in today's world of constant media and social influence, finding your authentic voice is more important than ever. And in this episode, I want to explore how to tune out the noise, stay true to your values, and make choices you can stand by long after the election season ends. Voting is one of the most personal acts of expression that we have in our democracy. But how often do we actually make that choice independently? There is pressure from the news, our friends, and of course, social media, and it's easy to get lost in that whirlwind. Voting from the heart means making choices that resonate with your personal values, needs, and beliefs. It's about honoring what truly matters to you rather than what's being pushed on you from the outside. Imagine you're passionate about education reform and truly believe in a candidate because they have a strong track record of supporting policies that improve schools in your community. However, you notice that many people around you, friends, colleagues, or even family, support another candidate who's more popular. Despite that pressure, voting from your heart means choosing the candidate you believe will create the change you care about, even if it goes against popular opinion. I spoke in the last episode about parents standing up to school boards and educators when they feel strongly that their kids are being led in the wrong direction. That is leading by example, but when it comes time to vote certain harmful members out, you must cast your vote, not stand in the sidelines and assume others will do it. With voting, each vote is a statement. Each vote counts. That is the power. Media is one of the strongest influence on voting behavior, often framing candidates or issues in certain lights to shape our opinions. But it's essential to remember that the media is a for-profit industry. Let me repeat that. Media is a for-profit industry. Often stories are designed to get clicks or views, not necessarily to give you the full unbiased picture. During election seasons, you might see headlines focusing on a candidate's personal life rather than their policies. These stories are attention-grabbing, but often leave out nuanced perspectives on their platform. For instance, let's say you're considering voting for a candidate focused on affordable housing because he or she has a strong background in real estate and understands what it really takes to foster advances in building new homes, which aligns with your values. However, a sensational media story pops up about a mistake they made years ago. The story could make you doubt your support, even though it has no bearing on the current stance. By recognizing that this media piece is designed to evoke a reaction, you can pause, reassess your own values, and vote from the heart rather than being swayed by an isolated story. Consume media critically. Try to balance your sources. Fact-check stories and think about whether the information genuinely matters to your vote. I love my friends, I love my family, I love my coworkers and associates, but their views and values may not always align with mine, and that is okay. I will vote as my heart and mind see fit, not pressure from anyone, no matter who they are, will change that. Doing your own research may feel time-consuming, but educating yourself on what is the truth and what is what I like to call agenda media is vital to casting your vote in the direction that reflects who you really are. It's natural to want to fit in, and politics can bring out strong opinions among our friends and family, but peer pressure, whether intentional or not, can lead us to vote based on groupthink rather than personal belief. Let's suppose your family is very vocal about supporting a specific candidate. You may feel pressured to vote the same way to avoid awkward conversations or judgment, but let's say that candidate's policies don't resonate with you at all. Voting from the heart means standing firm in your own research and convictions, even if it means a tough conversation with your family. It's not always easy, but that's the beauty of democracy. Each voice counts individually. Similarly, social media can make us feel like we have to align with certain public figures or trends to avoid criticism. For example, if you see influential personalities endorsing one candidate, you might feel pressured to follow suit, especially if they make it seem like the only ethical choice. Remember, your ethical choice is yours alone. Take the time to research each candidate and make sure you're voting for the person who truly aligns with your values. What your favorite musical artist says doesn't mean that you have to follow their rhetoric. You can still play their music, but they don't have your best interest at heart, nor do they live their lives in a perfect way, as we have seen lately with major scandals. So if you go back to many of the NewVision OldWays episodes, I have discussed many times the value of all of us getting in touch with our true selves, following our own core beliefs, and even if they don't align with your friends or family. Use the different meditation methods I have discussed and really dig down to what is truly important to you. Another interesting method is to try journaling your top priorities. Writing down your top priorities, such as education, infrastructure, or foreign or domestic policies, whatever they are, can help you keep these at the forefront as you navigate through the different opinions you hear out there. After all of this has been done and you have performed the research necessary to understand which candidate or proposition meets your needs and values, you may surprise yourself about who you want to vote for, and you will feel good about yourself for placing those ever so important votes where you feel they belong. In the final days before you vote, consider stepping back from the news. This can help prevent last-minute sensationalism from clouding your decision. I mentioned before that media outlets are for-profit organizations, and anything they can do to gain viewers or clicks, they will do. I personally take offense to various public figures who spew what I believe is awful, insane accusation at candidates, like calling someone a Nazi, or they want to hold a Nazi-type rally, or for the obvious coded comments that, without saying it directly, actually call for the assassination of a candidate. Is that who we really want to listen to? Are these agenda-driven people looking out for our best interest? No, they are not. And none of us should fall for that rhetoric, and none of us on either side should allow these people to get away with it. We as citizens need to expect more from ourselves, and in turn, we will expect more from our so-called free media and our public figures to speak the truth, not speak from coded agenda rhetoric that helps no one except the media outlets and the people that stay in power. We have to make the choice that our own beliefs and values will not be determined by what may be popular at the moment, but by what we know is right in our hearts. Popular does not equal right. In fact, popular means that some voices are louder than others. While the majority may be quieter, they know that popular belief is many times wrong. Together, we can change the world. Forget what is popular. Forget what lines the pockets of elected officials or their contractor friends. Anyone that accuses citizens, guilts citizens, or threatens citizens to vote in a certain way is obviously not looking out for your best interest. After you vote, take a moment to reflect on your decision. Feel that sense of pride knowing that you made a choice that's true to you, regardless of what anyone else thought. Author Sharon Salzberg has said, "Voting is the expression of our commitment to ourselves, one another, this country, and this world." Voting from the heart isn't always easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. In a world filled with opinions, staying true to your own beliefs is one of the most powerful ways you could participate in our democracy. So when you head to the polls this election season, remember that your voice matters, and the most important person it should matter to is you. Thank you for tuning into this special episode of New Vision, Old Ways. If you found this episode helpful, consider sharing it with a friend who might need a reminder to vote from the heart. Remember, your vote is your voice, so make it authentically yours. So, what do you think? I'd love to find out. Here is where to get a hold of the show and let us know. These are in the show notes, but as always, here they are. You could message the show from each episode on your various platforms. Just look for the send us a text message link. You could do that and send us a message, or you could email us at newvisionoldways@gmail.com. You can find us on what was Twitter, now X, and that's at New Vision Old Way. Remember, there's no S at the end of that one, so it's at New Vision Old Way. Check out the New Vision Old Ways YouTube channel. Type in New Vision, one word, Old Ways, one word, and please subscribe. It is free and will show support for the show. It really means a lot and will help grow the show on YouTube. Find us on Facebook with New Vision Old Ways podcast, and you should find us there easy. And as a reminder, these are growing platforms for us and expanding all the time. So we need your help to get the flow going with the community. And last but not least, if you could do me a huge favor and subscribe to us, like us, follow us, leave a review on whatever platform you found us on, that would be so appreciated. That will also help secure guests that we will be booking in the future. And believe it or not, we're coming up on season 3 pretty soon here. So as I've told you before, season 2 is going to have a few surprises along the way, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I cannot wait to get your input, and I also can't wait until we get together for the next episode of New Vision, Old Ways. And until then, stay true to yourself, stay informed, and stay empowered. This episode of New Vision Old Ways has been engineered and produced by TKM Productions and your host, Tony Marinaccio.